You know that feeling? When you face something really important, something you know has deep meaning, but it just seems, well, overwhelming, like a huge amount of information.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of how the vast Prajnaparamita Sutras might feel at first glance.
Exactly. But then, hidden within that massive collection, there's this incredibly short text, the Heart Sutra.
Right. It's like the distilled essence, isn't it? The real concentrated wisdom from all those hundreds of volumes.
Precisely. And if you're listening, chances are you're drawn to the Heart Sutra because you sense that profound meaning packed into its brevity.
And that's exactly what we want to do in this deep dive. We're going to try and unpack it for you piece by piece.
Yeah, hopefully make those core insights a bit clearer.
To help us navigate, we'll be looking at it through the lens of Master Jingkong's teachings.
Okay? He's explored the Heart Sutra quite deeply, right? So his perspective should be a good guide.
Definitely. And, to really get the Heart Sutra, it helps to see where it fits in the bigger picture of Buddhist teachings.
Right, the context.
Exactly. The Prajnaparamita Sutras are hugely significant. The Buddha actually spent the longest part of his teaching career on them,
How long was that?
a remarkable 22 years out of his total 49 years of teaching.
Wow, 22 years. That's nearly half his teaching life. Makes you think, what's so crucial about these particular teachings?
Well, it tells us something about the progression. After his enlightenment, he started with the very high level Avatamsaka Sutra, really for advanced bodhisattvas.
Okay, straight into the deep end.
Pretty much. Then he moved to the more foundational agamas for beginners. After that came Vaipuya, and then Prajnaparamita.
Ah, so there's a sequence.
Yes, building up. It culminated in the Lotus and Nirvana Sutras. So Prajnaparamita wasn't the starting point. It assumed some grounding.
Got it. It's like a curriculum, and Prajnaparamita is this key stage after the basics.
Exactly. And the Heart Sutra. That's considered the absolute core, the heart of that huge Prajnaparamita Sutra.
Or out of the heart, almost.
You could say that. There's even a saying, Prajna is the mother of all Buddhas.
The mother of all Buddhas.
Whoa!
Wow, that really underlines its importance.
It does. And speaking of core texts, the Diamond Sutra is another incredibly important one, focusing on awakening through prajna.
Right, often studied alongside the Heart Sutra.
Very much so. If listeners want to explore that further, Zhang Weinong's commentary on the Diamond Sutra is highly recommended.
Good tip. Okay, so let's get into prajna itself. Master Jingkong talks about three aspects.
Yes, but he stresses they're interconnected, like 3 are 1 and 1 is 3. They aren't really separate things.
Okay, so different facets of the same gem, maybe.
That's a good way to put it. The first is real mark prajna.
Real mark prajna.
It's described as the substance of the Dharma body as empty of inherent existence. It's pointing to the ultimate nature of reality itself.
So when we hear terms like Buddha nature, or true thusness, or the first truth, are those related?
Exactly. They're all different labels for the same underlying principle, emptiness, Gong.
Emptiness. But crucially, not just nothingness, right?
Absolutely not. That's the key point. Emptiness here is inseparable from existence. It's about the lack of a fixed, independent self-nature in things.
Okay, absence of inherent existence.
Think of the gold analogy. You have gold, the substance.
Right.
You can shape it into a ring, a statue, whatever. The forms change, but the gold itself doesn't. Similarly, the whole phenomenal world, all its appearances, that is the real Mark Prajna expressing itself. The appearances are the emptiness in manifestation.
That gold analogy really clicks. The changing forms are the emptiness.
Okay.
What's the second aspect?
That's contemplation prajna. It's the function arising from the substance of real Mark Prajna. How it's used, how it operates.
A function. So how does that contrast with how we usually, see the world?
Well, normally our senses are caught up in discriminating, judging, attaching, calculating.
Right, the usual mental chatter.
Contemplation prajna is more like a wisdom awareness. Seeing things clearly without getting tangled in those habits. But here's the interesting bit. Even our ordinary deluded way of seeing, Master Jingkong says, comes from a kind of contemplation, just a misguided one.
So even our mistakes tap into this inherent capacity. That's surprising.
It connects to the idea that prajna, this wisdom, is inherent in all of us. It's just clouded.
Like the sun behind clouds.
Exactly. And that leads to the idea of afflictions are bodhi wisdom. When wisdom is obscured, it manifests as afflictions. When the clouds clear, it's wisdom.
So potential wisdom, even in our struggles.
Okay.
And the third aspect.
Textual prajna. This is simply the teachings themselves, the words, the scriptures that explain prajna.
So the Heart Sutra itself is textual prajna.
Precisely. It's the catalyst, the guide, to help us realize the real mark and cultivate the contemplation within ourselves.
But the words aren't the thing itself.
No, exactly. Textual prajna is a skillful means, a fengbian, a tool. It can even be nonverbal, like in Zen. The real point is the personal awakening.
The realization that this wisdom, this clear seeing, was never truly lost.
You got it. Now let's look at that word paramita.
Paramita.
Okay. Literally from Sanskrit, it translates as to the other shore is reached, or gone to the other shore.
To the other shore sounds like a journey.
It's a powerful metaphor. This shore is samsara, the cycle of birth, death, suffering.
Our usual reality.
Right. The middle stream is all the stuff that keeps us stuff back. Afflictions, ignorance, cliches.
The obstacle.
And the other shore, that's nirvana. Unborn, undying, free from suffering.
Liberation.
So reaching the other shore means ending that cycle, realizing enlightenment, bodhi, and nirvana. Paramita is the practice, the perfection that gets you across.
The vehicle across the stream. Got it. Now, the path itself is traditionally described as very long, right? These kalpas.
Yes, 3 Asankhya kalpas, immensely long periods. It emphasizes the sheer scale of the transformation.
3 Asankhya kalpas.
Yeah.
That's mind-bogglingly long.
It highlights the dedication needed. The first kalpa involves cultivating 30 stages, dwellings, practices, dedications. The focus is on subduing the coarser afflictions.
Okay, the initial training wheels, maybe. Establishing a foundation.
Sort of. It's called the shallower paramita. Then the second Asankhya kalpa is about tackling deeper afflictions, getting closer to paramita. This is progressing through the first 7 bodhisattva bhumis, or grounds.
Working on more ingrained patterns.
Exactly. And the third Asankhya kalpa is the deepest practice. Through the 8th, 9th, 10th bhumis, the great paramita, leading right up to the edge of Buddhahood, and then full enlightenment.
A very gradual, profound unfolding. Master Jingkong also talks about a foundational principle for all Mahayana.
Yes, the underlying principle, the body, or T, is always real mark prajna. That's what distinguishes Mahayana sutras from Hinayana, which use the 3 dharma seals, no self, impermanence, nirvana, as their basis.
So understanding real mark prajna is key to the whole Mahayana view.
Absolutely. Realize that and you understand the nature of all phenomena. The Heart Sutra, being Mahayana, naturally takes this middle way real mark as its principle.
And its purpose, the Zong.
The purpose, or guiding principle, is to use the one mind, 3 contemplations.
One mind, 3 contemplations.
Yeah, contemplating emptiness, provisional existence, and the middle way, all simultaneously in one moment of mind, not step by step.
Simultaneously, wow. That sounds intense.
It's a very refined practice. The aim is to wipe out all 3 categories of delusion, from basic wrong views to subtle obscurations to fundamental ignorance.
And achieve.
And achieve the 3 virtues, the Dharma body, prajna wisdom itself, and complete liberation.
So it's a powerful tool for understanding and transformation.
Exactly. Okay, with that background, let's finally turn to the text itself. Verse 1. Avalokiteshvara bodhisattva.
Avalokiteshvara bodhisattva. Contemplating. Master Jingkong stresses this contemplating Guan isn't just ordinary looking, is it? It's Guanzhao.
Right. The crucial difference is how you're looking. Ordinary seeing is filtered through our emotions, our discriminating consciousness, it's bias.
So we project a lot onto things.
Exactly. Guanzhao, contemplation, uses our inherent wisdom, our basic seeing nature, to perceive things directly as they are without those filters.
A shift from subjective filtering to direct, wisdom-based perception. And that's what leads to great freedom, dazizai.
Precisely. When you understand all dharmas without obstruction, fundamentally, and in their appearance, you achieve this profound freedom, this ease.
Now, the name Avalokiteshvara is often equated with Guanyin. Does Master Jingkong add anything there?
He emphasizes that Avalokiteshvara isn't just one specific person's name. It's more like a description of a state, a capacity.
Ah, like a job title, almost.
Kind of. Think
Yeah.
of all the different images of Guanyin, hundreds of forms. They show that anyone who cultivates contemplation prajna, who uses that clear seeing,
Is an Avalokiteshvara bodhisattva.
in essence, yes, it's embodying those qualities.
That's really powerful. It means this verse isn't just about some historical figure. It's about us, the listener, and our potential.
Exactly. The capacity is already there. Okay, verse 2. Practicing deeply the perfection of wisdom. What does deeply shin mean here?
Going beyond just scratching the surface, right? A profound engagement.
Exactly. Prajna here is that true wisdom with the power to eliminate obstacles. Master Jingkong mentions the two main obscurations.
Afflictive and cognitive.
Right. Afflictive obscurations, negative emotions, attachments, and cognitive ones, subtle blocks to understanding reality. And also the three poisons, delusion, karma, suffering.
So prajna is the antidote.
Yes. And he distinguishes between shallow and deep Prajnaparamita. Shallow Prajnaparamita overcomes those three poisons, leading to liberation from the six realms.
That's the level of the arhat.
Correct. But from the Mahayana view, that's seen as, well, lacking deeper wisdom.
Significant, but not the final goal.
Right. Deep Prajnaparamita goes beyond that. It illuminates the emptiness of phenomena themselves, dharma emptiness, not just self-emptiness. It overcomes the cognitive obscuration.
And leads to that non-duality idea. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form.
Precisely. That's beyond the understanding of the earlier vehicles and aligns with the one Buddha vehicle taught in the Lotus Sutra.
A big leap. Does this connect to Zen?
Absolutely. Master Jingkong notes that Chinese Zen really emphasizes Prajnaparamita, not just meditation alone. The sixth patriarch's teaching in particular embodied this deeper level.
So Zen isn't just stillness, it's wisdom in action. Okay, next verse. Clearly seeing that the five aggregates are empty of inherent existence.
Yeah.
What does clearly seeing, Zhaojian, really mean?
It's that direct insight, the function of wisdom arising from deep contemplation, guan. It cuts through ordinary perception. Master Jingkong relates it to the Tiantai school's three contemplations and the wisdoms they reveal.
And the five aggregates, the skandhas, remind us what they are.
Sure. They're the five categories covering all experience. First, form, rupa, all matter, sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touch, even mental images.
Broader than just physical stuff.
Much broader. Second, feeling radhana, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral sensations. Third, perception, samjna, recognizing, labeling, conceptualizing.
Making sense of things.
Fourth, mental formations, samskara volitions, intentions, habits, impulses, a huge category of mental factors. And fifth, consciousness, vijnana, basic awareness, discernment, the 8 consciousnesses in some systems.
A comprehensive map of experience. And the key insight is seeing they're empty.
Empty of inherent existence. They lack a permanent, independent self-nature. They arise from causes and conditions, so their essence is emptiness. How so fe?
Conditioned arising means inherent emptiness.
Exactly. The phenomenal and the empty aren't separate. Realizing this directly is a major step on the bodhisattva path, maybe the first stage of the perfect teaching. It dissolves our usual ideas about birth, death, even enlightenment being solid things.
A radical shift, which leads right into the next line. And transcending all suffering. What suffering is transcended here?
All suffering means the suffering across all 10 Dharma realms. And maybe surprisingly, this can even include subtle suffering experienced by Buddhas in the earlier teaching frameworks, like the Tripitaka teaching.
Buddha's experiencing suffering. Explain that a bit.
Well, according to the Tiantai classifications, a Buddha of the Tripitaka teaching still has very subtle obscurations, maybe equivalent to a high-level bodhisattva. Only Buddhas of the distinct and perfect teachings in the realm of true suchness are totally free.
So the depth of realizing emptiness dictates the freedom from suffering.
Exactly. Deep Prajnaparamita eradicates both ego attachment, self-clinging, and dharma attachment, clinging to phenomena as real. Wiping out ego attachment ends the gross suffering of cyclic rebirth, Fenduan Shengzi.
Okay.
Wiping out dharma attachment ends the subtle suffering of ongoing transformation, Biani Shengzi. That's the full meaning of transcending all suffering.
So learning prajna wisdom is the real core.
Yeah.
Other practices are means to that end.
That's what Master Jingkong emphasizes. Don't get attached to rules or even meditation itself. They're tools to uncover wisdom.
Got it. Now, the absolute core verse, Shariputra, form is no different from emptiness. Emptiness is no different from form. Form is exactly emptiness. Emptiness is exactly form. Feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness are also like this.
Yes, this is central. It nails the non-duality. But emptiness, Kon, is tricky. Most people hear nothingness.
Which is wrong.
Completely. The Buddha taught like 18 kinds of emptiness in the Prajnaparamita Sutras. It's profound. Master Jingkong mentions 4 interpretations.
Okay, let's hear them.
1, absence non-existence, the common mistake. 2, space void exists but has no qualities. 3, emptiness of mind, pure awareness, free of clutter, a practice focus. 4, emptiness of phenomena. Everything is intrinsically empty, the deepest meaning.
And Buddhist practice focuses on the last two.
Mostly, yes. This real emptiness is true, not illusory. Okay, breaking down the verse. Form is no different from emptiness. Principle.
Right.
Suyuan Bubian. Form arises dependently on unchanging emptiness. Since form has no self-nature, it is empty.
Back to the gold. The ornaments change, the gold doesn't. Form arises from the unchanging potential.
Exactly. This helps us see true nature by seeing the emptiness within phenomena. Then emptiness is no different from form. Principle, Obiman Suyuan. This is a higher level.
Like the Zen mountain analogy. Mountains are mountains, then not mountains, then mountains again.
Right. Form is no different from emptiness. It's like mountains are not mountains, seeing impermanence. Emptiness is no different from form. It's like mountains are mountains again. Seeing the emptiness is the appearance.
The deeper integration. And then form is exactly emptiness. Emptiness is exactly form.
That's the middle way, Zhongguan. Absolute non-duality. It connects the three contemplations too. First phrase is emptiness contemplation. Second is provisional existence. Third is the middle way.
Wow, packed in there. And the end just applies it to the other four aggregates.
Yep. Feeling, perception, formations, consciousness, same principle. Different frameworks, aggregates, sense bases, realms, all point to this emptiness.
Different maps, same empty territory. Okay, next verse. Shariputra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They are neither produced nor destroyed, neither defiled nor immaculate, neither increasing nor decreasing.
Marked with emptiness, means emptiness is the characteristic of everything. This empty characteristic is the real mark, Shixian. But don't get attached to the term real mark.
Right, and the 6 negations.
They echo the Middle Way School's 8 negations. Neither produced nor destroyed. Ultimate nature doesn't begin or end. Like the gold, our true nature is beyond birth-death.
That applies to the appearances.
Right. Neither defiled nor immaculate. True nature is inherently pure. Defilement, purity are concepts born of delusion.
Beyond dualities.
Neither increasing nor decreasing, fundamental nature is constant. A Buddha isn't intrinsically more. A sentient being isn't intrinsically less.
Like conservation of energy, but much deeper, as Master Jingkong noted. Okay, verse 7 follows logically. Therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no eye, ear, no form, sounds, no realm of the eye, up to no realm of mental consciousness. It just negates everything.
It shows the implications. In ultimate emptiness, Brahmana Sunyata, none of these categories, the 5 aggregates, the 12 sense bases and objects, the 18 realms, exist inherently.
Because they're all built on the aggregates, which are empty.
Exactly. Since the foundation is empty, everything derived from it is also empty in its ultimate nature.
Verse 8 continues negating, hitting core Buddhist concepts. No ignorance, and also no ending of ignorance. Up to no old age and death, no suffering, no accumulation, no cessation, no path. This sounds really radical.
It is. It negates the foundations of the Hinayana paths, the 12 links of dependent origination for Pradika Buddhas, and the 4 noble truths for Sravakas.
So ultimately, no arhatship, no Pradika Buddhahood to attain.
From this ultimate view, yes. It links to no establishment of any dharma, yifa buli, because all is empty. But then there's the balance.
No abandonment of any dharma, yifa bushi. How does that work?
On a conventional level, using the 3 natures, we don't establish the falsely imputed nature, but we don't abandon the dependently arisen nature. We work with appearances. But for advanced bodhisattvas, even the dependently arisen is seen as not ultimately real.
So, relinquish projections, engage with appearances, realize emptiness of both. Got it. Verse 9, no wisdom and also no attainment. Why negate wisdom and attainment? Aren't they the goals?
From the ultimate view, there's no separate wisdom to be attained, not even the highest wisdoms, and no supreme enlightenment to be gained as something new.
So why does the Buddha talk about them so much elsewhere?
As medicine for the sick, we're deluded, we need these concepts as remedies. For the fully awakened, they aren't needed. Clinging to the idea of gaining enlightenment actually blocks our true nature.
So true practice is effort without clinging to results.
Exactly. Even clinging to no attainment is still clinging. No wisdom is true, inherent wisdom. No attainment is true attainment, the manifestation of our already enlightened nature.
Wow, okay.
Ultimately, since all dharmas are empty, the grasper and the grasped are unobtainable. Realizing this frees you from suffering over gain and loss, leads to freedom, blessings.
Verse 10 flows from this. Because there is nothing to be attained, bodhisattvas relying on Prajnaparamita have no obstruction in their minds.
Exactly. Bodhisattvas here means those awakened ones practicing deep prajna, because they know there's nothing to attain, there's no basis for clinging.
So their minds are unobstructed. Xin Wai.
Right. No hindrances, open, free. Master Jingkong links it to no obstruction in phenomena, Shishiwai, in the Avatamsaka Sutra.
And no obstruction leads logically to verse 11. Because there is no obstruction, they have no fear.
Makes sense, doesn't it? No mental blocks, no clinging, means no basis for fear of death, fear of delusion, etc.
Then verse 12. Far beyond deluded views, they reach perfect nirvana. What are these deluded views, Diandao?
They come from attachment. Ordinary beings have gross delusions, ego, dharma attachment. Even advanced practitioners might have subtle dharma attachment. Dreamlike thoughts, are uncontrolled mental states.
So being beyond them means mental mastery, even in dreams.
Yes. Realizing our pure mind, which is inherently free. Buddhas might look ordinary, but they have this inner freedom. And this leads to ultimately reach nirvana, Jujing Nippon.
Perfect quiescence.
Right. Trainees get partial nirvana, Buddhas get complete nirvana. Bodhisattvas, relying on prajna, achieve this ultimate state.
Verse 13 widens the lens again. All the Buddhas of the 3 times, relying on Prajnaparamita, attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi.
Emphasizing it again. Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, unsurpassed, complete, perfect enlightenment. All Buddhas attain it through Prajnaparamita.
It's the essential ingredient.
Absolutely. Bodhisattvas need it too. Without prajna, the path and the result are incomplete. It's why Master Jiang Huinong stressed it so much regarding the Diamond Sutra.
Prajna is central, even if it's challenging to grasp without falling into nihilism. Okay, verse 14 shifts tone. Therefore, know that Prajnaparamita is the great mantra, the great bright mantra, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, capable of completely appeasing all suffering. Truth, therefore, is not deception. Wisdom is a mantra.
Yes. Prajnaparamita is a dharani, a powerful mantra, dashinzu. Dharani means total retention, holding the essence of all teachings.
Like condensation of power and meaning.
Exactly. Even Buddha names, like Amitabha, are dharanis, connecting to our own inherent nature. The Heart Sutra itself is a great dharani.
And its qualities as a mantra.
Great spirit mantra, immense power to remove obstacles. Great bright mantra, boundless light, dispelling ignorance. Unsurpassed mantra, nothing higher among all practices for realizing truth. Unequaled mantra, nothing comparable.
And its effect.
Capable of completely appeasing all suffering. Truth, therefore, is not deception. Realize prajna ends suffering. It's real, not false.
Not just intellectual, but transformative power. Finally, verse 15 introduces the mantra itself. Therefore, set forth the Prajnaparamita mantra. Set forth the mantra that says.
Right, moving from explicit teaching to the implicit secret mantra. Master Jingkong suggests it's also for non-human beings present at teachings, like gods or spirits. A connection for them.
And the mantra. Gaitke Paraget, Parasage Bodhisva.
Yep. Pronunciation varies. The original Sanskrit isn't perfectly known. But the meaning is contained in everything we've just discussed, from Avalokiteshvara to truth, not deception.
So understanding the wisdom is key, not just the sound.
Crucial. Mantras can work with mudras, visualization, but the understanding activates the power. Master Jingkong notes that while mantras are often untranslated, explaining the meaning can deepen faith, which is paramount.
Wow, what a journey through such a short text. This deep dive, guided by Master Jingkong, has been incredibly insightful.
It really has. It's amazing how much is packed in there, isn't it? The nature of emptiness, non-duality, the vital role of prajna for liberation, and then the power of the mantra itself.
It really leaves you, the listener, with a lot to think about regarding, well, everything. Reality, suffering, the path, what parts really struck a chord, what questions came up for you.
And maybe, think about exploring further. Look into commentaries on the Prajnaparamita Sutras, the Diamond Sutra, perhaps. See how these ideas might actually apply in your own life.
Yeah, how can this understanding shift things day to day?
And here's a final thought to chew on. What if truly recognizing the inherent emptiness in everything ourselves, others, situations isn't scary, but actually unlocks a completely different way of experiencing the world? Moving from feeling stuck in a fixed reality to sensing, maybe, a kind of boundless possibility, an inherent freedom from suffering that's always been there.